All right, Novak Djokovic.
Oh,
Tennis player.
Oh, yeah.
Not allowed to go to Australia because he notoriously is refusing the vaccine.
Okay.
And then he's allowed into Australia under special conditions in order to play in the tournament there. What tournament is it in Australia?
Australian Open. Jesus
Open.
Christ, dude.
Yeah.
He's allowed to play there.
Yeah.
And then as he lands there and he's in the hotel, then they decide, oh, actually, there's an issue with your visa. You can't play.
Yeah.
And then he basically gets deported out of Australia.
But they changed it again today.
Oh, they changed it again?
Well, they put him into the detention hotel.
Yeah.
And then while he's been in there, I think it's day 4.
Yeah.
Then a judge ordered the reversal.
Judge overturned it today.
But they're still threatening to cancel his visa. So I looked into this. What they're asking for, the reason he got denied is they didn't have proper medical proof, which he still might be able to provide. But I
Proof
think
of what?
He submitted the reason he was allowed in is a medical exemption, which is I tested positive for corona on December 16th. And because you can test positive for like a month out, countries have started doing this thing where like, look, if you have a positive corona test from 2 weeks to 90 days, you can come in. You don't have to get the negative test.
Right, because we know you have the antibodies.
Yeah, you have the antibodies.
Safe.
You're good. You could just be testing positive because that's what happened.
Yeah.
So the things that are suspicious are, one, he already tested positive in June 2020. He had his own tennis tournament, maskless. Him and a bunch of other players got corona. Then he got it again, announced it again, June 2021. Then December, he doesn't say anything about getting COVID. And he submits a test from December 16th. And if that's true, December 17th, he went to a public event where he got like a stamp in Serbia. He went there maskless, took pictures with mad kids, no mask on. So either you were like woefully negligent once you got the positive test, or you're lying about that positive test on December 16th because it's been more than 6 months or whatever the deadline is if you go back to your last June positive. So you're like, oh, just do one from December. Who cares? And another reporter said there's like a QR code that he submitted. And if you went to that QR code, until this morning, they changed it, but it would say the test result was negative. And then all of a sudden this morning on that same website, that same QR code, the test is positive.
Wow.
So he's trying some slick shit.
He's trying some slick shit.
He's about to get caught. He's probably going to get locked up because it's probably a federal offense to lie about your
I don't
status.
know how they can prove it, though. If he said he got it from, like, Serbia, apparently less than half the country's vaccinated. They don't believe in this shit. They're not doing it.
That's where everybody was going, remember? It was like the only place. Was it Croatia?
Croatia.
No, it was Croatia.
Yeah, we went to Croatia.
I went to Croatia.
Yeah, true. I went. Shouts to Dubrovnik, mad lit. But that's what I think. I think he's trying to fake a positive test so he can get around. And this guy, he got some, like, weird nutrition and science beliefs. I think he's been anti-vax, like, period. Like, vaccine, period.
He absolutely has. Yeah.
Like, in April of 2020, a month after Corona, he was like, I'm not getting a vaccine. We don't even know anything. We're all still freaking out. Remember April?
Yeah.
We're still freaking the fuck out. I think he's completely anti-vax. He said he found out he had a gluten allergy because a nutritionist had him hold bread in his left hand and against his stomach and put his right hand out. And then when he let go of the bread, the right arm was harder to push down. And he was like, that means I have a celiac allergy. I gave up gluten from that day. Like, this he's a fucking brilliant tennis player, maybe the best ever, but he's nuts.
And also, he's an elite athlete who's at the peak of his powers.
Yeah.
Like, I've had 2 vaccines. I've had the first and the second jab. I didn't particularly want them. Health anxiety drives me mad. Yeah. I got the AstraZeneca one. 2 days later, there was loads of headlines like, oh, this might be causing blood clots, particularly in young men. I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Kicked me off. Didn't get it. I got my second jab so that I could come to New York. That's the only reason I got it.
Yeah.
He's a tennis player. Yeah. He knows, let's be honest, that if he gets COVID, he will probably be fine.
Yeah, so why risk it?
So why risk it on top of all of that? And also, I think his name is Alan Brazil, right? So there's a sports commentator in England. He does like a radio show called Alan Brazil. He's enormous. Yeah. Like he's this wide. He's constantly purple. Like he looks like he's about to explode at all times. Yeah. And there's a thing the other day he was quoted as saying Novak Djokovic is a threat to health services. And it's like you can't with a straight face say that. You're taking up so much more public health money than anyone in the country, never mind that fucking tennis player from Serbia.
Yeah, it's tricky, man.
I think if you can't prove the test is positive, you gotta let him. I mean, the test is fake. The
you
positive
just let
test,
him go.
I think you have to let him.
Yeah.
You have to let him play.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. We weren't here, but like, you know, with the places that have universal health care, they're doing whatever they can to limit the people in those beds and limit those costs. And they're getting caught up in these type of situations where he could go there. I think they shut down the city if there's like 1 or 2 positive tests, right? In Australia, don't they have like these crazy strict rules, right? So they're potentially letting somebody in who could force the whole city to get shut down. They're trying to avoid that.
This has become a massive point of controversy because it's also he's tied for the Grand Slam record, and this is his best tournament. He won his first major here. He says it's his favorite tournament. The Australians fucking love him. Yeah. They're probably frustrated because they've been so locked up. So he probably represents a lot more to them than just some guy who should play a tennis tournament.
But also they attacked his car. Like he was driving from the hotel to whatever.
Supporters that were so fucking geeked up.
No, I think they would attack him.
I saw supporters attacking police after throwing food and different things.
Oh, really?
Because, police were amazing people that I thought were like protesting them, but they were so. My understanding.
I saw Serbian flags, so it was just like, no, they came out there for him.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, maybe I got that wrong.
They were so keyed up, they just didn't know how to fucking act, and they like surrounded his car, and they were just like, we're trying to get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's become a whole like
just test him now.
Hot button issue there.
Yeah. What's
just
the big
test
deal?
him
Just
now.
test him.
Just PCR test him now.
But this is the thing I don't
Australia
get.
has their rules that you have to be vaccinated or do a 2-week quarantine.
Well, exactly. Yeah, and that's a tricky thing. But here's the thing I don't get is like now we know the vaccine doesn't do shit for Omicron.
A negative test should be good enough every day.
A negative test should be the only thing we do.
True.
Because if you're doing, for example, go to a bar in New York City, if we know you can get Omicron, if you're vaccinated, right? What the fuck does that vaccine card do?
Yeah.
How does it keep anybody safe?
Yeah.
Maybe I guess you could handle a little better if you do. But like the reality is you're going to fucking get it. So if you're going to take the negative test, like let's say you got a negative test, I don't want to take a fucking negative test every single day. I know they have to have some system to like ensure the safety of the employees, sure. But in a tournament like this, the safest thing that they can do for their people is PCR that motherfucker.
And you have the resources. Like you can't do it at a restaurant because you can't have every citizen take a fucking negative test every day. Right. We don't have the infrastructure.
Put him in the detention center, give him the PCR. If he's good, let his ass out.
But if you got an athlete worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you could test that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I know there's people saying like, oh, there shouldn't be any special exemptions being made just because he's a tennis player. It's there should.
Yeah, you're
if he's going to make $50 million for your city, I think that's a good idea.
He's
Simple as that.
reigning champion.
Yeah,
even if he wasn't, what he does business-wise.
Yes, the amount of money he makes is more than the amount of money you make.
Not even the amount of money he does.
Yourself, for society.
Yes, but you need the city. The city needs it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. Fuck him and the money he makes.
Yeah.
There are people whose jobs rely on him coming into the town and making that tournament happen. Right.
Right.
Like think about the amount of money they're going to lose. Like a buddy of ours, he works in the league, and they were supposed to have a game that they ended up shutting down, and it works for the Raptors, right? And he was supposed to have a game that they're going to end up shutting down. It was against the Warriors. They're going to lose $5 million. $5 million. Like that's what you end up losing in that situation, because I think this is when Toronto said we have to shut down everybody, no capacity. It's not even half capacity, no capacity. $5 million. And you literally got to call the league and be like, yo, or call the fucking city or call the province or whatever it is and be like, can we push this 2 more days? We're about to lose $5 million. And they go, no, they don't give a flying fuck about it.
And also, can you imagine how much extra money and ratings on TV that this controversy is going to get? Because every Novak game, everyone who loves him and has got to love him more because he's anti-vax and he's standing up for what is right in his opinion and all that, they're all going to be like, we're tuning in. And he's also now a villain that everyone else will be like, I want to see them get knocked out.
Yeah.
They'll be the highest viewed tennis games